Hey, what's up, everyone? It's been a while since we've had a live broadcast on sheep to be awakened. And so I guess what I want to go live about today is just to express my concern about the eugenics program. And I guess I want to add a personal touch to our broadcast today, because it actually involves me as a practitioner, it involves me as a doctor. So let's just begin. Okay, so what we want to know first off is we want to know about Mr. Chris Dorsey. If you don't know this gentleman, you need to follow him, because he is on the ball. He's got his finger on the pulse, and he knows about the Jewish conspiracy. He understands about the eugenics program, and I believe that we need to be informed if we are ever going to suppress this movement, suppress this this demonic satanic order. We need to be informed and have as much information as possible. And so what is the eugenics program? Agenda 21, what is it about? Well, I mean, here it is there. It's the Agenda 21 is such a broad spectrum of different ideas. But look, here it is here. The elites, eugenics and depopulation. What do they say? Hey? Maintain humanity under 5 billion in perpetual balance with nature-guided reproduction, wisely improving fitness and diversity. Okay, so you've got all this, right? Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Well, that'd be very difficult to avoid petty laws and useless officials if you want to maintain and keep humanity under the 5 billion mark, right? I mean, that's their limit. That's what they want, right? They're looking for, so how are they going to do that? How are they going to maintain the limit of humanity under that scale there of 5 billion on the planet? Well, Agenda 21 is one of the depopulation agendas that is used as a social movement which will improve genetic features of human populations through selective breeding and sterilization. And so that's what we've got going on at the moment with immigration. We've got all of these wars that are being waged over in Syria. We've got all these wars that want to be waged over in Iran. And these wars are going to shift a huge populace of immigrants into the monarchist nations that have a desire to uphold the King James civil law interpretation, interpretation of civil law. And the problem is that today's discussion, today's thread, broadcast is going to be about people who are being employed in the Supreme Court in Australia, New South Wales, to bring this about. And so how is it going to be brought about? Well, it's going to be brought about through Operation Mockingbird. And Operation Mockingbird is a program of the United States Central Intelligence Agency, which was operating in the year 1950. And basically what these programs do is that it's a whole system of fake television, which is what we're basically putting up with today. And you must ask yourself the question, who on earth is paying for this? Who's paying for this fake Operation Mockingbird? I mean, they say that it operated early in the 1950s and that it ceased. No way. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe Operation Mockingbird has ceased at all. I believe that Operation Mockingbird has geared up probably 10 more gears. It's in high gear, folks. Operation Mockingbird is in high gear. And you and me are at the forefront of this determination, annihilation of the human race. This is the interesting subject that we need to be aware of and that we need to be telling our family and our friends. And if you suffer from cognitive dissonance, where you are probably scared to even mention this to your family or your friends, well then, man, you need to get a grip onto reality. What is reality? I mean, that's the whole thing. We're living in a cotton ball society. We've got all these snowflakes in our community, in our society, and you know, we've got to give them the hard truth. The truth hurts. The truth hurts. Yeah. So right now, the earth is impregnated with fakery. It's full-blown fakery. And so one of the chaps that I like to keep an eye on is Billy DeMoss. If you don't know this guy, go and like his page. A very strong activist who was on the ball about the eugenics program and the vaccines. Yeah, the world has 6.8 billion people, Bill Gates says. Yeah, and we need these new vaccines. We need new healthcare. We need new reproductive health services. My God, would you ever put a Jew in charge? Would you ever put a Jew at the head? Would you ever put a renowned eugenist, white hater? When I say white, I don't mean white person. I mean the color white that you paint your wall with. Yeah, I'm talking about this man doesn't like painting walls the color white. He prefers a blue color. He prefers a blue wall rather than a white wall. So, this is interesting, isn't it? How drugs are killing off the population. And, we are seeing the infertility agenda working. And now we've got these mandatory vaccines. 87 mandatory vaccines will be enforced on your child by the age of 18. Can you believe that? Can you believe that we're living in a time when mandatory vaccines are the show of the week? That's the show of the week for you. Yeah? Interesting, isn't it? We need to button up, guys. We need to be aware of what's happening. And so, just looking at Billy's post, what an iconic figure this guy is. Yeah. Did you know that Monsanto was ordered to pay $2 billion to a cancer victim? Well, look, I don't know if that's just bullshit or not, because remember, Operation Mockingbird is part of this same program, and it is controlled. We must remember that there is such a thing as controlled opposition. My God, I hope that our page is not controlled opposition. I don't think it is. I mean, the amount of the amount of material that we're getting on this thread, on this page is incredibly informative. And you know, hats off to Jared, and hats off to Christine. They do a great job in monitoring and securing our page and making sure that these dickheads who want to come on and, you know, come into our page, come into our group and you know, create mayhem. But yeah, anyway, we need to be aware of what's going on. By the way, my name's Jeffrey Hunter, and I'm a chiropractor, I'm a naturopath. And today I'm talking to you about live blood analysis. I'm talking to you about the Agenda program. I'm talking about the Eurogenics. I'm talking about Agenda 21 and the Eurogenics program. And I want to know why these people are desperate. I want to know why these people are desperate to hide remedies that prolong life. And here we've got it. I mean, this is the topic today. The topic is about live blood analysis and about the ability that it has to be able to screen patients, to screen clients, okay, instantaneously. But you need to understand is that the medical profession have gone after this tool like a dog on heat, because you know, they want to control, they want to be able to keep into perspective the Nazi agenda. They need to have the medical profession as the only office of integrity, as the only office of knowledge. And the fact is that the medical system from day one, my God, I mean, who would ever think that you know, digging buried bodies out of a grave, they call them the grave doctors. This is how modern medicine started. Modern medicine started when they would have to go ahead and steal bodies, dig up dead bodies that have died, and they had to do it outside the law. And you know, this is how basically modern medicine began. And so, you know, don't try and tell me that that modern medicine is the only ethical form of healthcare. It's not. And primarily, I believe that the modern system of medicine is geared towards the Eurogenics program, and I'm going to prove that to you. I'm going to prove that to you today. The fact that these people have got something to say about live blood analysis and about how damaging it can be. I mean, here they say, right? They say that it's a pseudo-scientific, bogus and fraudulent medical test. This is what they say, right? They say this, yeah? It's a pseudo-scientific, bogus and fraudulent medical test. Oh, really? Is it? And yet down here, they say here that in 2001, in 1996, the Pennsylvania Department of Laboratories informed 3 Pennsylvania that nutritional blood analysis could not be used for diagnosis unless they maintained a laboratory that has both state and federal certification for complex testing. Okay, so that means that you can have a laboratory. That means that you can, that live blood analysis, which is just dark field examination of live cells. It's dark field examination. So here, our own government is saying, yeah, look, you can have this, but you need to have this so-called, you know, special certification for complex testing. So, you know, they just shoot themselves in the foot. One minute they're saying that it's a bogus test, and the next minute they're saying, oh yeah, it's okay, you can have it, but you just need to get, you know, state and federal certification for complex testing. So, I mean, who on earth is going to monitor this? I mean, who are you going to employ to say whether this method of live blood analysis is ethically scientific for the community? Are you going to have a microbiologist who hates natural medicine, who hates chiropractors, who hates, and all of these people who are so-called in the government, all these so-called government officials, mate, they're being paid. They have been paid to say that live blood analysis is not an ethical tool of diagnosis, because that's their job, right? I mean, yeah, if you're paid as a lawyer to defend someone who's done something against the law, well then obviously that defense attorney is going to do everything in his power to be able to defend you and to make you look as innocent as possible. I mean, that's his job. Well, this is what the government does. The government is just another defense attorney. They are defense attorneys. They are trying to make themselves look as though they are the in or all. Yeah, in or out all. So, yeah, this is a huge problem. And I mean, look, this is, if you might want to think, well, what has this got to do with, I mean, how serious is it, right? You might want to ask yourself. You might want to ask yourself about this guy, Richard Carlton. Is he Project Mockingbird? You bet your bloody life he is. Of course he is ASIO through and through, mate. He is ASIO through and through. And so all of these so-called Four Corners, ABC, which is an Australian broadcasting, it's the Australian funded broadcasting. Yeah, that means that the taxpayer has to pay for it. Yeah, so we've got these all of these foreign correspondent and these foreign affairs and we've got these dead shits that say that they're all for true journalism. They are not journalists.